Yes, unfair expectations. Unfair expectations are made and set when you want something that you did not ask for. And then you got a whole problem and attitude with that person that did not provide it. That's an unfair expectation. That's an unfair expectation when you ask a question, you make a request, and you're given a no, and you feel some type of way. That's an unfair expectation. Because if you make a request, there's one or three answers. Oh, no, actually one or two. Yes or no. Most of the time, if someone says maybe and they don't give you a timeline, they basically mean no. If they don't even give you an answer, that's a no. They can either say yes or no. There is no try. There is no I'll see. There are times where I see does apply. And it depends on that person. However, there are a lot of people who are putting out unfair expectations, meaning I expect this from you because of who you are to me and who I am to you, so you should just do it. That's an unfair expectation. You just put all of that stress and that headache and that guilt on that person to satisfy something that you did not voice or that they didn't even want to do. But you made it your point and you made it possible for you to put that in there. That's an unfair expectation. It's an unfair expectation to walk in a room and just start talking about all of your problems and nobody says, here, let me help you. What was wrong with just walking to one person and saying, hey, I have this going on, can you help me? Hey, I have this going on, can you help me? It's an unfair expectation to walk in a room and walk up to a table and want to sit down, but you just stand there while that person is eating. And they're looking at you like, what? And they're uncomfortable. Or you're putting an unfair expectation on someone. So that unfair expectation is when you want something, you require something, or you even make a request, and they don't give you what you want, and now you mad and you got a whole issue and don't even want to talk to that person now because you feel like they should have known, they just, like you just ought to. I hate hearing that. You just ought to. Like, what you mean? I just ought to. Did you ask me? Or, you know my situation. You know what I was going through. You should have. No, I shouldn't have. Because unfair expectations is when someone is in an emergency and they expect it to become yours. That's an unfair expectation. And because today is Mother's Day, there are a lot of people who do that to their mothers. They make unfair expectations. They expect mommy to do everything instead of either voicing it or finding someone else to do it. And I think a lot of times women get it the most, and then men, especially black men, have it behind them because they're expected to do a lot, but they're not asked a lot of times. And even if they are asked, it has to be a certain way. But that's because unfair expectations is when you ask for something and you get a no, or you don't ask and you expect it to just be given to you. But if you put out your expectation and it's not met, that's not their problem. Don't be upset at them for that. Just say okay and find another way. So that's something that I do find very irritating because I hate hearing, you just ought to. I'm like, what the, you mean? I just ought to. Like I say the word in my head. Sometimes I might say it out loud, but I say it in my head. I shouldn't just ought to do anything. You know, like they say, stay black and die. I don't say it that way. I'm like, why do you expect for me to do that? You didn't ask. Or I'm not the only one who can. So we got to stop making unfair expectations and start asking. And if we get a no, that's not their problem. If they said no, that's your problem to now find a solution. So good morning and hasta luego. This is Brittany Simone with Do You See What I See? And if you don't, let me show you.